Well, this is my last pizza crust. So I am going to make some more sourdough pizza crust tomorrow. I'm going to make a double batch of this. I'm doing the night before, stirring up the, again, double batch, so a cup of starter, a cup of water, and 2 cups of flour. I'll stir this up. So I had to feed my starter again that I just fed yesterday. I'll show you what this looks like when it's stirred up. The method is exactly the same as the sourdough buns that I did. The dough is a lot different. There's no milk, there's no egg, there's no sugar, so it's not nearly as rich a dough. But well, this kind of overfilled lifted off the lid, and so I'm going to have to put some away for the night. But look at this. It's trying to scoop out a scoopful of this. It's more like, I don't know, the blob that ain't New York than sourdough. Yeah. I told you, this is fun stuff. Oh, yeah. Good morning. This is what happens when you don't use a big enough bowl. So use a big enough bowl. What actually happened, this bowl was fine for the last batch I made, but I was afraid I mixed it a little too early, and so I fed it again last night with not very much. I think half a cup of flour and a 1/4 cup of water, but apparently that was enough to literally put it over the edge. That's okay. We can use what's inside here. Gotta get started on my pizza crust. Well, I just got called in to sub today, so I guess starter is going to go back in the refrigerator, and we'll deal with this again another day. I'm not working today, so we're going to give this another try. The method for the sourdough pizza crust is pretty much identical to the one I just made with the hoagie buns and hamburger buns. Looks like a little bit more flour to start with, flour and water in this first mixture. So here I have a cup of starter, a cup of wheat flour, and a cup of bread flour, and a cup of water. All right, we're going to mix that up and then let it set probably, again, 45 to 60 minutes. After that, then I'll add salt, olive oil, and the rest of the flour. So not nearly as many ingredients. After about 45 minutes, this is what the dough looks like. It's gotten a little bit puffier. I'm not going to add the whole cup of flour right now. I'm going to start with half a cup, and then we'll see. And then it takes 2 tablespoons of oil and a 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Let's get that in here. And there's the 1.5 teaspoons of, I used pink salt, and 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Let's mix that up, stir that up, and see if I need that extra half cup of flour or not. And remember, with sourdough, we're looking for slack but not sticky. And it's not going to take that whole half cup, the rest of the half cup of flour to make a cup. I'm thinking maybe half of that. I ended up just a couple tablespoons shy, maybe of the 3 cups. And now it's ready to stretch and fold. And then we'll let that go. Check back with it half an hour and do that whole stretch and fold procedure. This isn't going to be ready. Oh, and I oiled the bowl with olive oil again. Okay, we'll keep an eye on this. I probably won't show you the whole process again this time. Maybe just after the final stretch and fold, and then we'll shape it. This is what the dough looks like after I dumped it out of the bowl. I don't want to lose a lot of the air, so I'm not going to punch it down. I'm not going to roll it out. I'm just going to cut it in 2 or 3 pieces, put some oil in the bottom of the pan here, and just kind of gently stretch it out, maybe let it rest a little bit so that it doesn't keep shrinking. And right now the dough keeps shrinking back, so I'm going to give it a little R&R, a little rest, a little time to relax. And you'll notice here I have extra virgin olive oil. I used to use other oil like sunflower oil, and it stuck really badly to the pan. Since using olive oil, EVOO, it works much better. So we'll check back with this in 5 or 10 minutes, see if I can stretch it out to the edges. If you were good at doing the whole tossing thing or putting it over your fist, you can do that too. And I have the first one all stretched out. Oh, it looks like it starts shrinking again. Same with the second one. Just sort of pull it, and stretch it, pinch it around the edges. This takes a little bit of patience. I'm going to make a classic focaccia with part of it, so I went out and picked some of my rosemary. Probably rub that a little bit, maybe rub it with some coarse salt, and one of those forgotten onions too. I've washed that up and slice it up. Okay, and I sort of press this around the edges. I used my fingers. You could use a wooden spoon handle if you don't want to use your fingers, and then sort of just drizzle. I think I need a little bit more. I want about a tablespoon of olive oil on top of that. I'll drizzle a little bit more on, and then I will put the rosemary, thinly sliced onions, and you don't need to, but I like to use a little bit of Parmesan on that. Show you what it looks like when it's all finished, and then we will let it double in size and pop it in the oven. Again, probably about 425. I ground a little fresh pepper on that also. And now all I need to do is slice up the onion and toss that on top. Because that onion's been out there a little longer than it should, it is starting to get a bit of a green sprout in the middle there. I'll just pull that off. Well, all sliced up, that looks like more onion than I'd kind of thought. Oh, we'll see here. Just sort of scatter it around. And you could serve it hot with some more olive oil to dip in, or maybe olive oil mixed with some Italian seasoning. That would be good. Oh yeah, it's not going to take all that onion. I don't want to overdo it. How many places missing? That looks pretty good. Oh, there's a missing bottom corner over here. Now this extra onion, I'll just put it in a glass jar with a very tight lid, and it will keep in the refrigerator for several days, maybe even a week. I think we're ready to go. No, wait, what did I forget? Parmesan. You don't have to put cheese on it if you don't want. Again, it might not take all the cheese either. Let's see. I mean, it's not like a pizza. You don't want to completely cover it. That's good. That's good. A couple tablespoons of Parmesan. And my oven is not quite hot enough yet. I had written on here 400 degrees for 15 minutes. So either that, or I might just try the 425 for a little less time. Top shelf, I'm thinking. And there's the finished focaccia. I'll show you the bottom. So you see it's nice and golden on the bottom. So no yeast at all in this. No yeast, no sugar, yet it's light and puffy. And this is going to be delicious. Well, I sprinkled a little pizza seasoning on top, and I have a little bit of olive oil here to dip it in. And now I gotta stop eating it. I really do. And this will freeze really well. All right, that is it for today's show. Thank you for watching. Till next time.